Bob Robert, I'm there. Thank you. Sue. Great. So we can roll. I'm so glad that you guys are here. It's the first webinar ever live, and I'm glad to have you here. Wow, lots of comments. Okay, so we're going to start with just me giving you a bit of sharing on those 3 proven strategies to help you halve your water bill, which are low tech and inexpensive. I have spoken about them in my session, not the live one, and but I just want to speak about them again. So, firstly, you've got to harvest water, and harvesting water is not just on the roof, but from the roof we can harvest and store it in a storage tank. And in our course, we'll 4 tanks which are different to your plastic tanks because they, first of all, they're beautiful. The tanks attached to the house, like that 16,000 liter one, and our ferro cement tank will outlast the plastic tank for a long time. But I'm not going to go into details right now, but the bottom line is you've got to get from the roof, store it, and how you know your storage is very good, which is different to conventional tanks, is settling. The water that's going to come into the tank is dirtier than the water coming out. So the bottom of the tank is, the floor goes in, it's got a little sump, and the water out from that little sump. And then the water, the outlet to go into your filter is slightly higher than that blast out valve by 10 centimeters. So you don't get all the muck. So you know your storage is successful by having the water coming out cleaner due to settling than the water coming in. And then, of course, the biochar filter is super easy. Just on the note of the ferro cement tank, it's a weekend project with 5 people. It will take you 2 weekends, and it's really, really third of the price that of plastic water tank. The other thing in terms of storage is very important is that your soil is got very big capacity to store water. So right now, majority of gardens are compressed, they're slightly sloped, and the water just runs off like off the duck's back. So what you want to do is terrace. You want to terrace or contour line, on contour line, and I'm going to slow the water down. And when the water runs down, it enters the trench. The trench is filled with logs, sticks, mulch, and manure, and then covered with soil, excess soil from that bump. And all the water coming from uphill drops into this trench because it's big logs in the center. So the water just drops in and feeds this bump passively for months after the last rain. And obviously all of this is mulched and terraced and leveled, so you don't see all the technology, and that creates a lot of water. We're talking 500,000 to 1 million liters of water that will be stored in a 10 by 10 meter garden. So that's quite awesome. So that's just on storage side. And the filtration that we're talking about, I mean, you can go and buy an expensive filter, but they're really like $5,000 at least, or $4,000 for the quantity of water that you want to treat, 300 to 600 liters. That's what the biochar filter that I've learned was Josh Kearns is a simple project. And I'm talking a weekend also with you and 3 friends can create this filter. It's super robust. I had the water tested. The test results are on our course sales page, which is buybetter.ru, and it's between 50 to 200 times better than conventional tap water. So it's phenomenal quality. And we're talking about water coming from the roof, goes into storage, excess goes into my pool. Okay, so my pool acts as a buffer. So in winter, the water will start going down, and that's how you have backup of 120 or 100,000 liter. Your pool is the biggest backup. If you don't have a pool, in our course, we do teach more advanced storage, which is not, that's a section is not ready yet, but it'll be ready in a month or so, or 6 weeks. And that's underground storage. You park your cars over it. Ferrocement dome, submersed, underground, and stores a lot of water. Grant, I'm getting a message that you don't know when is the starting time. We are started. Is everybody still here? Bob Robert? Yes? Are you guys still here or listening? Give me a sign, just so I know I'm not alone. Stu? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you're still here. Awesome. Grant, did you manage to get in? Yes, yes, here you are. Okay. Okay, biochar filter. So the biochar filter is super easy and the water is extremely good quality. Guaranteed. It basically uses hard wood that you burn in a gas fire oven, 2 steel drums on top of each other, get on top. So it's super low tech, and you sift and you clean. And we obviously go into extreme detail in our course how to create that. It's a really awesome project, and basically turns your pool water. That's if you've got a natural pool with a wetland, which we also teach at the course, how to convert your normal pool into a wetland pool. So basically you have either water from storage from city roof, or your pool water, which is also obviously called from city roof, and all the elements, but the water is sparkling. And obviously then we have a copper pipe that I also teach in the course that vortexes the water, with magnetizes and vortexes the water and drops it back through the seashells that are in a clay pot, all the seashells and stones that have collected mineralization. So you get minerals, and of course the vortexing. And the vortexing, what that does is creates life force in water. So you're drinking living water versus just filtered dead water. So that's quite important. So between storage that can cost you about $500 for a 12,000 liter tank, or 6,000 rand, 5,000 rand. That's what we build ours at. That's 12,000 liters. If you have a constructed wetland, like I showed you in a square drum, it's called flow bin, and that you can split it in half, because the roots of the wetland, they don't need to go deeper than 60 centimeters. Most of cleaning happens in the top 30 to 40 centimeters, so you don't even need to have the whole 1 meter deep wetland. So that 1.2 square meter drum flow bin has got a lid on top. You keep that lid closed and you cut the drum in half, and you got 2 wetlands, creating a 2.4 by 1.2 square meter cleaning surface area. And obviously with all the inlets and outlets, and I'm following an earthship model. So Mike Reynolds has taught me how to have water just drops in through the rock entrance, and then it goes through, and obviously hot water from the bath, it drops down, you force it down, and then it exits at the bottom, and then because it's hot water, it rises, and then you suck it in again from the bottom. So it actually from travel path, 0.2 square meter drum, and then it enters the next one and it does the same thing. And then out of that, you can either have your pump submersed in the second wetland if you're really tight on space, submersible pump right there that you can just switch on and irrigate from there, or like the earthships, they have that water going straight to the toilet. So as you flush your toilet, the pump knows, okay, it needs to be pressure, and you hear the little pump actually going and fills up the water in the toilet, and then as we flush the toilets with that water and we irrigate with that water. So in my case, I've got a sump, which is just a hole dug deeper, and I've sunk a drum, a blue drum, one of those glucose drums, 200 liters, super cheap, $20. And the first big drum, the flow bin, is $30. We're talking about really, really cheap and simple projects. And that sump basically collects all the water. And when it reaches 200 liters or 100 switch, so as up the water, then the pump kicks in and you've got your whole garden irrigates. And in my case, as that irrigation happens, the water goes to another big drum and fills that up, and that gravity feeds my toilets. That's what I've done, and that's working marvelously. So I'm not using that little submersible pump for, to automatically flush the toilets, but it actually flushes the toilet. It goes into a drum, gets filled up when the pump kicks in and irrigates my garden simultaneously. I don't recommend building any sprinklers. It's actually illegal in America to sprinkle in gray water. So although you see in my videos sprinkling, we suggest, and also those misters, the water just sprays all over. I mean, in my course, I'll show you, it's a bollock. So you want to go with drip irrigation under mulch. And that's how you want to irrigate your garden. So forget sprinklers, still use the same pump, but it's drip irrigation under mulch. And then you plant your plants where the little drips come out, which I also teach irrigation. We actually have that as a bonus. So just by having, never mind the biochar filter, just by having the wetland, which is a day project, and I would be lying, it cost me more than $100, okay, with plants and gravel and everything. So a wetland now makes the 12,000 liter storage that you've built, you can now reuse that water. So the 12,000 liters becomes 24,000 liters because you use it, you bath, you shower, and then that water is now used to flush the toilet, irrigate your garden. Talking about a $5,000 or $500 investment for the water tank, and $100 investment for the 2.4 square meter wetland, which does enough for 3 people, treatment for 3 people. And we ran it for 2 years in our home, no smell ever. And so that's an investment of $600 or about 6,000, 7,000 Rand. And with that investment, you have 24,000 liters of water during rainy season, which is, let's say, half a year, continuously. So and obviously, that tank can fill up 2-3 times in a month. So rainy season, so we're 50,000 just for that investment of $600 and 2 weekends, maybe 3 weekends, if you stretch it out. So that's really awesome. And then coupled with your earth catching all the rain that comes down, obviously you have overflow, and overflow always has rocks, so you don't erode it with these bumps on contour line. So you have this fruit forest garden or a vegetable garden that's constantly moist. And to top up the moisture, you've got, obviously, you just bath and shower, and 60 seconds later you hear your pump go off, and it tops up the moisture. So we're talking about a really awesome water-wise garden, and I'm not talking about planting desert plants. I'm talking, let's plant veggies and things that really don't walk on it, don't compress it. So everywhere there is a path, you don't want to stomp and compress the ground. So you use your pathway, and then everything is mulch. So the strategy is to double dig the garden, and so between those couple of strategies, we're talking about millions and millions of liters of water additional in your garden. And earthworks are really fun, and I'm not able to switch on my screen sharing right now, but I'll try and figure it out closer. Okay. I just want to know if you want to shoot it at me, and I'll respond as I get your questions. Okay, whilst we're waiting, I'm going to run a little poll just to see. Hello? Okay, do you have questions yet on the strategies to halve your water bill? Where can we see you? John, as part of offering a 3-hour tour, and if you can't attend the tour, I'll record the whole thing and give you the recording. It's one of the bonuses that you can, there's 7 bonuses currently, and I'm about to throw in the 8th bonus. So you'll be able to visit my garden as part of the purchasing of the course, and or otherwise I will organize just a tour if you're not going to be purchasing a course in spring. But as I said, we'll do a recording so anybody can see it. Toon, can we watch the webinar afterwards because it's really stuttering? Yes, there will be a recording. It must be my telecom connection. It's so there will be a recording. Will the wetland work, Clayton? Will the wetland work in a permanent shade area? Clayton, honestly, you can do it with special lights that provide the red and blue spectrum. So it will work with those special lights, Clayton. However, for proper filtration to take place, you do need sunlight. That's crucial. Sunlight is crucial, but it will work well with those special grow lights that they use for hydroponics under basements that grow food. So it will work fine with that, but obviously sunlight is important. Do you have water filtration of any sorts? Yes, I do have water filtration, and that we discussed a biochar filter. It consists of 4 blue. First one is upflow gravel, so it's got a toilet bowl valve at the bottom, and that's all in a little brick cavity, so that it doesn't implode on itself. And then the water enters through there, flows up through the gravel. There is a PVC pipe in the center with a ball floats on top. So that ball has all the way valve, and that tells the toilet valve, okay, I'm full, and that's when the water stops going up from your storage, or in my case, it gets pumped from the pool. Okay, and then it overflows through sand, clean sand, graded sand, another 100 liters of sand. So it's a very robust system. And then it overflows up and then goes through the 3rd drum, which is a biochar filter, and we make our own biochar using alien hardwood, in our country, wattle. So you can literally get people to pay you to remove it. And that goes through, super simple to make a char, and then it overflows, which is this clean water, and that's where I installed a little pump and a solar panel. So as soon as the sun hits it, it goes and it pumps through this clay pot with seashells and stones that I've collected in the mountains, and that gets calcification and mineralization. So I hope that answers your question. Garth, no, the ticket is not included, the airplane ticket. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Okay, nothing at the moment. Okay, I'd like to just show you a video that you can see inside the course. So it'll only 6 minutes. Just watch it quick, and then we'll come back. Maybe you'll have more questions. Okay, can you see the video at all? Just give me a sign. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, the video is not playing. I'm going to quickly Ethernet connection. You can just watch the video Apologies for that. It's here is the link to the video. It's basically a 6-minute video that you can see inside the course of what it's all about. And it must be my internet connection that's not able to pull this video and broadcast at the same time. So apologies for that. Can you still hear me though? Can you guys hear me? Once you get into the login page, you copy and paste your password and your email address, you click login. So this is the first screen that you see. First time I've recorded a little video for you that will just give you a good introduction of the course and a welcome message, and just to get you started off here with a bit of text. And chapters will take you to the main sections of the course. So there is harvesting, storage, filtration, upcycling, food grower, and bonuses. Food grower I haven't uploaded quite as yet because I'm on my 5th prototype. I'm going to actually build the whole thing from start to finish, the 5th prototype together with you. So that's still coming up. Just got bonuses uploaded. So here's we've got six bonuses for you to choose, and yeah, the bonuses are all there. The finals ones will be uploaded by the end of this week. Then we've got individual projects. So there's many ways to get to the same, way. So here's your individual projects: hard surface, earthworks, sandbag tank, underground tank. They're all here. Okay, and so you can click on the actual icon to get in there, and you'll get straight to the first lesson of the course of that particular chapter. So I've given you some downloads, materials, what you can get, and here are the different lessons of the biochar filter. So that's another way to get around the course: introduction, making of gasifier oven. So each one's got a video attached to it, so you could watch the video and obviously learn. And then they're short videos, between 10 and 20 minutes. Some are 30 minutes if it's really intense, but I really have tried to split up into different lessons. And once you watch the video, you click this, I've completed the lesson, and it will give you a little progress bar, so you'll know exactly how far you are in the course and so on. So another way to get around the course is using this navigation. So we can go to hard surface. If you click on the actual word, you'll go to the first lesson of the project, and these individual lessons within the project. So there's theory, and then there is obviously outdoor playing and creation outside, so which are very important. So yeah, that's in essence it. So there's many ways to get around the course. I made it as user-friendly as possible for you, and quite visually, so it's like, okay, and then once we record the Q&A sessions, once you got questions, we'll obviously be starting now with once you start going through the course and you have your Q&As. I suggest going from start to finish, but if you have started with the biochar filter, once we have a few Q&As, I'll record the video answers for you, and then I'll place them in here. So chapters, individual projects, bonuses, community section. This will be linked to our private Facebook group that we can all post and comment things and grow the community and ask questions that are possibly maybe not related to a specific project, because of things. If you do have a question, I do suggest you comment in the actual project underneath each project. So that way it's easier to track, and maybe other fellows have the same questions as you have. So if we go for you know, let's say the biochar filter, and you have a question in a particular lesson, finalization and testing, and you're not sure about something, then you know you would leave a reply, please assist, you know, and then you post a comment, and then we'll have all our comments, you know, and I'll be able to answer them, and also know which section you're talking about, and others will be able to help you. So that's pretty much it for the course. There'll be other courses like that in future, but this is just the water course, and I wanted to show you around. Most of the stuff is up. We just I'll need to be honest with you, the underground tank, that big 40,000 liter hole, that, you know, that's a more advanced project, and I'll be finishing it in the next 2 months, so that will be still uploaded. And as I said, the food grower, we'll be finishing it by the end of July, and then I'll upload it, you know, so it's got individual lessons. All of these are videos, so it's going to be easy to understand, easy to follow, and the guarantee you have from me is that you will be able to replicate the projects from start to finish. And if you're not able to replicate, you are allowed to ask me as many questions as you need to get this project done. That's a guarantee you have from me that you will be able to replicate. The stuff I'm teaching is low tech and simple, as long as you follow the instructions. Okay, righto. There we go. Just come back online. Yes. Kenneth, yeah, the course, I just showed you a little bit of a taste of what's inside the course. Yeah, I didn't want to, you know, keep your precious time for much longer, but everything is there. There is over 100 hours of video footage, and what makes this course quite unique is that I saw from somebody that's put in 30, 40 years in the subject. I'd come back to my playgrounds here. I'd build the system after the live event. Usually these workshops are about 10 days, and still make mistakes, record all the mistakes that I made, and I've put these mistakes into video solutions, so you guys don't have to make the same that I've made. And all the questions that will compile a video Q&A that will basically answer your specific questions. So if you know, so that's quite specific, and I'll be taking that Q&A for the next 6 months. And answering them in public to all the participants on each section. So we'll create we will have a live event for every single section. So that's something that's a guarantee. And another guarantee is that you will get these projects. I was able to replicate them. I was able to teach unskilled African labor, which I needn't say more, to create these projects with me. So the stuff that I'm teaching is not rocket science. As long as you follow step-by-step instructions, you will be able to replicate the project. And if you're not able to replicate the project, I'll give you your money back. That's pretty much a guarantee. If you got age, just so I know who I'm speaking to, male, female, and your age, just so we know. Okay, Goth, there was intro. Yeah, once you purchase the course, you'll browse at your own pace through the course and learn in your own time. And the beauty about that is the workshops that I attend, the live workshops, there's been a lot of downtime. So, 30 of us will arrive, and the instructor only 3 people, and they'll basically stand doing nothing. So the beauty here is that there is no downtime. You watch the lesson, you go do the lesson, and if you've got questions, you post your questions, and your questions will be answered. So there is no downtime. That's another advantage. Yes, we are able to install, Nicole, we are able to install 4 people. I will be coming to Cape Town in the next 6 weeks, and I can do a site inspection your land, or if you pop me a private email, then we can manage that and discuss that. I'll just pop my email down. Does anybody have any more questions? Yeah, Devon, my place is in Johannesburg, South Africa. That's where I am at the moment. Okay, Steph, I found over the last few weeks, like a huge job for one person to do. I also live in Cape Town, and overwhelming, as it can really... Okay, so you want somebody else to do it for you, Steph. Okay, I hear you. As I said, the projects that I'm teaching are super easy. You will be able to replicate them, if that's your passion. Otherwise, we can offer installation services. So I've got an offer that I'd like to just throw in for everybody on this webinar. A few months back, I went to Durban and visited my 70-year-old friend, Natalie, who is a wizard at worm farm and everything to do with worms and container growing in small, tiny spaces with these Australian worms that eat up grass clippings and kitchen waste and leaves. And they multiply every week, and they double every week, and they put your garbage in clippings. And in 2 weeks, they turn grass clippings into soil. So they eat grass clippings and kitchen waste, everything except citrus and onion and meat and fish and fat. So that's why I have 3 compost buckets, and I'll chat to you about it just now. But they eat the kitchen waste and grass clippings and leaves, and they poop out soil, organic soil. So I've recorded 2 hours of in-depth footage, and I am in now and purchase the course now. I'll rather be so frank with you. So that's 2 hours extra footage on everything to do with worm farming and worm farms and growing your own worms and feeding your own worms and all the ins and outs. She also gave a lot of information about using urine in your garden, how it can change the DNA of certain plants, and I can vouch for that because, stage we put seeds or vegetables underneath our tongue to code the DNA into the vegetables and fruit trees, and then your entire garden becomes an extension of you. So it's going to be an additional 2.5 hours of really, really awesome footage, and I'm going to throw it in for all the people that purchase the course tonight. It's really well priced, $230. I've given 6 bonuses. It's all there on the sales page. I'll type it now if you haven't. I've put my entire life into this course. I've sold my decor business. There's my vision behind me. And I've been following the world, traveling the world since 2009, and learning from top wizards. I've got a permaculture certificate from Jeff Lawton and Mike Reynolds. So I've done quite a bit, and what I'm basically presenting is a much cheaper version for those that can't go and attend 10 workshops internationally. I've packaged all of that together into this water course. We will be doing basically going to teach you the dome, the aircrete dome, as well as the sandbag dome, which there it is. But it's all on my website, and so those two courses are coming up, and it was basically I'm tackling food, shelter, water in the most practical way, creating online practical courses that you will be able to build your own home for under 10,000 US. And you will be able to grow your own food forest and organic biointensive vegetables, and you will be able to sort your water out. And water is number one priority. So that's why we started with the water course. But the next year we will have the food and water course, and I'm going to do the shelter to build a home here and record everything step by step, combining sandbag technology and aircrete. So yeah, do we have any more questions? Can you guys shoot age just as a matter of interest? I just want to know if you don't want to give his exact age, you can put 30 to 40 or 40 to 50 or 50 to 60. I'm still just want to know roughly what your age is, and obviously I can see if you're male or female by your name, but just if you could throw in out your age just as a matter of interest, I'd really appreciate it. Also, I know you're still here. Okay, sure, thank you. So it's definitely people in an upper, 40s and up. I've gathered that. That's who I've been actually talking to. It seems like if people younger than 30, they're not interested in this kind of thing. So I'm here available to answer any of your questions about water, or somebody said different terrain. Okay, so with sandbags, you're able to build literally on a mountain slope. So if you've got a rock and you cannot even dig anything in, and it's this slope, you create the sandbag extension, and now that becomes your pond. Okay, that becomes your pond, and or you fill it with soil to create a vegetable. Not is a problem because sandbags, they can flow over anything. As you can see through my garden video, you literally take a chalk and then you scratch where you want to go, or I use the biochar, charcoal, and then I scratch with that. Or if you're on the ground, then you just then I take a pick and I use the pick as an extension of my arm to draw these waves. That's how I did my entire garden here, especially next to the sandbag tank. I drew it with them. So there is tremendous flexibility as to what you can do with sandbags. And as I said, in the rock terrain, you can go for it. Okay, do we have more questions? Yes, Steph, you can bring your and I'll make you guys really nice muffins, organic muffins, and tea on my solar cooker. So yeah, it's part of the deal. Okay, I'm still here. Lots of comments coming up. But do we have some water questions, or do you have any questions about the course, or, you know, anything you want to know? I'm here and I'm available. And okay. Okay, do we have any questions yet? So here's the offer. I've put the offer up. It's available, and that's where I'm going to throw in the earthworms. Nice, well, it's a whole module going to go on earthworms. Going to be a couple of lessons. So if you're interested, click the orange button, invest into your health, and yeah, you can the page. Everything there is actually a replica of what you'll get in the course. Loads of information there, and okay, Sam wants to know about sacred geometry. So sacred geometry, and strangely you ask that because I actually just came from stone ruins in Mpumalanga, which are Fibonacci spiral and geometrical proportions. So sacred geometry is very important because it can ground the cosmic energy and magnetize magnetize and amplify anything you're doing. So in my course, I will be creating, in my next shelter course, I will be creating a building that's all based on sacred geometry. So when you walk into the house, the energy, you actually become, you feel amazing by coming into your own home, because the energy will hum like a temple. And what these stone circles are, it's Geomancy. I'll just type it in chat. And Geomancy's placement of stones to invoke this cosmic energy and the energy of the creator to come down and create holistic environment in your space, so it can offer extreme levels of protection from crime and whatever you don't want to welcome in your space, by placing stones in the right places. I don't know a lot about geomancy, but it's something I am studying. Marko Pogaznik is, I'll type his name, but you can research. Very works with elemental beings, well, the energies of the earth. I mean, you might think I'm mad, but fairies and gnomes and all of that, but they are there. I can't see them yet, but he can see, and he works with stones and placing the stones to heal the energy of the earth. And the houses that I will be building and teaching how to build will also have geomancy integrated into them. Okay. Does this setup work with an aquifer? We don't emphasize sucking water with a pump out of aquifers, unless you're creating earthworks in the form of terraces and these bumps on contour line where you slow the water down and you sink it in. You're not really allowed to pump, according to me. You know, of course, I can't stop you, but in Mexico, 50, 60 years ago, they were digging 5 meters deep to get to the water. By 2000, they reached 600 meters deep, 100 meters deep in this year. And the water comes with arsenic and fluoride because they pierced into a lens that mixes ancient toxic water up. So we shouldn't be sucking waters out of aquifers. If you are getting water from aquifer, you could clean it up with biochar filter. And if your water is very iron rich, I do offer a module, a lesson on how to get iron out of the water. So yes, with a biochar filter, you will be able to clean. Answers your question. Okay, Steph, the plants are able to break down, the plants in the wetland are able to break down the soaps from the gray water. Obviously, we don't use jig or bleach or any of those harsh chemicals, but if your wetland is sized correctly, and I take this from the master, Mike Reynolds, I'm just going to type his name in, and he's got earthships. He's been doing this for 40 years, and the wetland, if it's sized correctly, and they're not even using natural shampoos, they're using standard Pantene and normal stuff that you buy from normal shops, not even health shops. And the wetland is able to clean all of that up. They've had the water tested, and the water comes out fine. They're growing vegetables in that water. They had the vegetables tested. They don't encourage watery veg lettuces, but a lot of the stuff they grow in their grey water wetlands, and there's no problem. And he's been doing it for over 45 years. So I would take his word for it. He's had tests. I've traveled to earthships in Taos, New Mexico, and I've built a school with him in Malawi. So we had some conversations about that. And Steph, if you want to, so we don't. Right now, Steph, I'm not drinking my grey water. So the systems are separate. The water comes from the roof. That's all. That's what you catch. That's your cleanest water. You store it in that container and you get it to your biochar filter, and that water is clean and perfect for you to drink. If you do want to use your grey water to make it drinkable again, you'd need to put it through a much longer wetland, much bigger wetland, and then through a biochar filter. But there is no need for that, because even in the desert in Taos, New Mexico, you build a 30,000 liter water storage, then you can have all your potable water caught from the roof in the desert, even with a very small rainfall area. Then you need a bigger roof, obviously. But as a rule of thumb, grey water for the garden and flushing of toilets, rainwater purified, stored, purified for drinking. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Gotham just got an underground tank. Okay, so the problem with underground tank is that it needs maintenance. So when the muck accumulates, you'll need to literally pump everything out of that and clean out the muck and use it again. If you do have an underground tank, I would have your pump slightly raised from the floor so it doesn't suck up the muck, obviously blocking your sprinklers, or if you want to use it for drinking water. So that's the only thing with underground tank. So solution is underground tank is filtered, pre-filtered before through some settling device or a really good leaf catcher with a very good screen. So you don't want to send muck into an underground tank, because it's going to be a mission to go on your knees literally and clean all of that out. Versus the above ground storage that we teach, with that floor, you can blast out the muck to go right out, and obviously minimizing the maintenance time. But yes, started with what you have. Great to have that you have an underground tank. So you'll just have a solar pump or a pump that can take it to where you need it. So depends what you want to do with it. I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Natasha. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, guys, just taking some final questions, and then I think we're going to wrap up. Yes. Okay, so if there's no more questions, I'd like to just thank you for the webinar, and I hope you make the right choice. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee on the course. So if you're not happy with something, or I have not delivered what I promised to deliver, I will gladly give you your money back. Yeah, so I want you to try it out and see for yourself. I've really put a lot of energy into compiling all of this together, and it's super detailed and step by step all the way. And yeah, I hope to see you in the digital classroom. And I'm gonna wrap it up. Is everybody happy? Let me know if you're happy. Type in the chat, or if you've got final questions, I'm still here. Let me know that you're still here. Any final questions? Thanks, Nicole. I also look forward to be seeing you in Cape Town. I'll definitely contact you. I believe you gave me your email address. Yes. No. Okay. Kenneth, I will be coming to the States soon. I'm actually going to be doing an Earthship Academy, a full 30-day academy, which obviously I'm going to learn from Mike Reynolds a lot more. Then I'm going to be putting all of that information into the course. So the course will keep on growing, and I hope to bring it to the level of the most it's already the most advanced online water course on the planet, but I'm going to catch up. So all learn from Mike Reynolds in terms of sewage treatment and the levels and all the intricacies. And he's got a whole water organizing module. You can Google WOM or water organizing module by Earthships. And sorry, WOM. Okay. Water organizing module. So I'll be including that entire section into the course when I come back from the States. And then, Kenneth, we can definitely meet up. So I'll keep you in mind, and we can meet up and see what I can be of assistance to you. Or if you can get me out to do some fantastic, I'd love to share the water wisdom to the people. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Goth. Solar pumps, Goth, solar pumps, you know, expensive is a relative term. I bought a solar pump for $1,000 that can do 200 meters, and it's been lasting me already almost 9 years. No problem at all. But they come much cheaper. It doesn't need a pump. I mean, it doesn't need a battery. It just works from a solar panel. And so it just, and that's what I have currently cleaning my pool. I have a panel and a solar pump, and that just circulates water through 2 wetlands and drops it back into the pool. Garth, what do you mean by next module? There's 14 modules in my course. So yeah, that will be the next module. Is, you know, you invest into the course, 14 modules, and you go through them at your own time. And the course is available for 10 years. I will be you guys for 10 years, which is ample time to complete. And then after 10 years, we'll reset, obviously, because you know, there's a lot of sharing of passwords and so on. Yeah. So that, I hope that answers all your questions. And Bob Robert will definitely connect when I'm in Taos for an Earthship class. I'm thinking of coming in October to do that 1 month intensive on grey water and sewage. And obviously, as I said, I'll implement it into our Abundance of Water Academy. Thank you. We'll definitely keep in touch. Garth, thank you. Lexi, thanks, my dear friend. Awesome. All right. So that's it. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Colby. I'll definitely swing past Asheville Culture Project there. And thanks, guys. I guess there's no more questions, so we'll wrap it up. Thank you. Great, Colby. Good to hear. I'd love to. I love rainforests, so I'd love to visit your place. Definitely, I'll come to Asheville when I go to Taos. Thank you. All right. Cheers, guys.